We brush our teeth every day. Well, most of us do anyway. But have you ever wondered what toothpaste actually looks like under a microscope? Today, I'm comparing 3 of the biggest brands. Then, I'll brush my teeth with each one, see what's left afterward, and finally introduce each one to a living rotifer to see how they respond. Let's get started. Just a small amount of toothpaste in the slide, distilled water in a cover slip. Let's go. Okay guys, right away you can tell this isn't just one smooth paste. Those big circles, the air bubbles from making the slide, but everything else is the toothpaste itself. Even at 40 times magnification, you can already see there's a lot more going on than you'd expect. So now we're at 100 times, and most of these tiny particles are probably hydrated silica. It's basically a mineral that's added to toothpaste to do all the scrubbing. So every time you brush, millions of these little particles help remove plaque and surface stains from your teeth. So at 400 times, those particles really start to stand out. They're not all the same size either, and that's intentional. Smaller particles, they get into those little tiny spaces, while the larger ones help polish the surface of your teeth. So now we're at 1,000 times, and those abrasive particles are surrounded by the gel that holds everything together and helps spread the toothpaste evenly across your toothbrush. It's kind of crazy. You've probably brushed your teeth 1,000 times without ever seeing what was actually going on behind the scene. Okay, let's move to sample B, and I'm keeping all this a secret. I'm not going to reveal which brand is which until the end, so you guys go ahead and guess until we get there. Okay, here's sample B. So this one caught my attention right away, guys. Instead of seeing a bunch of larger clumps, everything looks much more blended together. Even from this far out at 40 times, it has a much smoother appearance. So as we zoom in, you can really see why. The abrasive particles look much finer here. So most of what we're seeing, again, is hydrated silica. It's the ingredient that gives toothpaste its gentle scrubbing power. So at 400 times, it almost looks like the particles melt into each other. They're packed so closely together that the toothpaste has a really consistent texture across the entire slide. Now we're close enough to appreciate just how dense this sample is. It's amazing to think something that feels completely smooth on your toothbrush is actually made up of millions of microscopic particles working together every time you brush. Let's head over to sample C. All right guys, this one already looks different. I'm seeing a lot more dark patches and little clumps spread across the slide. Let's zoom in and see what's going on. So there they are. You can really start to see those tiny cleaning particles now. Most of these are probably hydrated silica, but they don't look as evenly spread out as the last sample. What do you think? So now this is interesting. Instead of everything looking nice and uniform, I'm seeing larger chunks mixed in with all the smaller particles. That's something we don't see as much in the last samples. So now we're all the way in at 1,000 times, and those larger pieces really stand out, surrounded by thousands of tiny particles. It's pretty wild. This all looked like a smooth toothpaste coming out of the tube, but under this microscope, it's a completely different story. So let's go ahead and jump over to the rotifers and see how they react to the 3 brands. All right, here's our rotifer sample A, and for those of you that do not know what a rotifer is and the nomenclature, but let me explain a little bit. But you see his mouth and those hairs, those are cilia, and they spin in opposite directions and they create a vortex, and it provides a suction where he or she can eat algae, microscopic debris, and right behind the cilia is called the mastics, and that is his jaw or teeth. And behind that you'll see a little thing moving, and that's a muscle. The muscle pushes food down towards the stomach, and from there he has a toe, and his toe will grab onto debris and enable him to stretch out and search for food. Pretty cool, right? Also, they can use their cilia on their mouth to pull themselves forward and swim, just like that. So for this experiment, I took some toothpaste, mixed it with some distilled water, and used a pipette and introduced it on the side of the slide underneath the cover slip. So watch on the right-hand side of the screen of your TV, and you'll see this wave come in, or tsunami, and boom, right there, guys, you see it? So that's like 3,000 gallons of toothpaste. But the first line of defense for rotifers is they curl up in a ball, and they will remain that way until the environment improves. And so this is how they survive for millions and millions of years. So for this guy, I don't really see him doing that. So this is a good sign. I'm not really looking for a crazy adverse effect, but it's really cool to see what microorganisms, animals, react to what we use every day. So let's go ahead and go to sample B rotifer and see how he fares. All right, sample B rotifer. Now watch the top left part of your screen, and that's where the toothpaste and distilled water will be coming in at. Let's watch this guy, watch his reaction. And boom, there it is. You see that? All right, like I said, first line of defense is curling up in a ball. Seems like he knows his environment changed, so he's checking things out. All right, so I think he's pretty good to go. Let's go ahead and introduce sample C, Rotifer, and see how he does. Okay, sample C, Rotifer. Now watch the top left part of your screen. There it is. You guys see it? That's sample C toothpaste mixed with distilled water, and he doesn't like it. I can tell. So watch this guy. He's going to curl up in a ball pretty quick, and there he goes. So there's a little bit more on the top left coming in, but immediately this guy did not like sample C. What is sample C? Take your guesses right now, you guys, because this is strange. Okay, so I zoomed in at 1,000 times on a rotifer. So have you guys ever seen a rotifer at 1,000 times? But this is really cool. He or she is still in its shell. So what you're looking at is the large clear oval is the main body of the rotifer. This contains all of its internal organs, and the greenish blobs inside the body are more likely food in its stomach or intestine. Rotifers often look green after eating algae or other photosynthetic microorganisms, and that brownish material surrounding the green patches is food. It's actually moving through the digestive system. So rotifers are basically transparent, so you're often watching digestion happen in real time. So that thin clear outline around the outside is the rotifer's flexible outer covering, and that's called the cuticle. Okay, so round 3, I'm going to show you the toothpaste after I brush my teeth on each sample. And what I did was, it sounds gross, but I spit it out, mix it with distilled water, and put it back under the microscope. So here it is. Okay guys, here it is. Sample A on the left before I brushed, and sample A on the right after brushing. Do you guys see a difference? Let me increase magnification, and on the left compared to the right, take a look at that. And again, increase magnification, and I can distinctively tell on the left, it's a big difference as opposed to on the right. So pretty big breakdown. Let's go to sample B. So here's sample B before and after. On the left, before I brushed, and on the right. So you can see a big breakdown there. So let me bump it up. Okay, there you go. It's a little larger, but yeah, massive breakdown before and after. So it's interesting, isn't it? Let's go to sample C. Okay, here's sample C on the left before, and sample C on the right after. So yeah, again, big breakdown, of course. I guess that's given since I was brushing for 2 minutes. So here you go, guys. What do you think? Let's go ahead and exit this microscopic world, get back to reality, and I will reveal what is sample A, B, and C. Let's do it. After looking at all 3 samples, I definitely found some differences, you guys. Some toothpaste looked much smoother under the microscope, while others had larger particles and a much less uniform structure. The Rotifer test was definitely a reality check on sample C, and after introducing the diluted toothpaste, the rotifer quickly stopped moving. Now that really doesn't tell us which ingredient caused the reaction, because toothpaste contains abrasives, surfactants, fluoride, flavorings, and a lot of other ingredients. It simply shows how the rotifer responded to the toothpaste as a whole. But here's the question. Which sample was actually which? Sample A was Crest. Are you surprised? I grew up with this stuff. I'm not biased. Sample B was Colgate. How many Colgate users are out there? And sample C was Dr. Bronner's organic toothpaste. What you think about that? And this was the one that the rotifer curled up and went into a ball and didn't come out. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. It goes to show that the products we use every day can look completely different once you shrink them down to the microscopic level. Guys, I'm really proud of this. I just finished this field manual. If you'd like to dive even deeper into my microscopic world, check out my official lab field guide. I put it together to help you understand what you're seeing under the microscope and even start exploring on your own. You'll find the link in the description. I'm very proud of that. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care of yourself and others.